thought that this would really be a good time to talk with the media as it relates to what's going on in the police department. I know back in October when Chief Lovett submitted his retirement, his letter of retirement, it was kind of unexpected. However, it was accepted and realizing that the city had to move on. With that, you all know that there were allegations made, and as we began to look into those allegations, other things surfaced. And from the very beginning, I was very committed to deal with all of the issues in the police department, not just some of them, because it was very important to me that the officers and all of the staff within the police department knew that if there were issues, they would be addressed and that we were going to move forward. It's been very, very painful, but major progress had been made. At that time, as I thought about who would be best to lead the organization in the interim, I really looked closely inside to, first of all, to listen to what the command staff said as to what the strengths and weaknesses were. Then looking at each of them to try to get a better feel as to who would be the most balanced person to step in and lead the organization in the transition. I knew that early on an assistant chief's position was added to basically help with the administrative type issues in the police department. And once I did that, I realized that there were two good people already in place in the department, and that was Acting Chief Tolbert and also Terry Enoch. Talked with them, shared with them the concerns and the good points that had been expressed to me by the command staff, and challenged them to address the issues with integrity and honesty, and to get in there and move the department forward. I can say at this time that I am quite pleased at the approach that they have taken. I think they have exhibited integrity, fairness, and honesty, and truly has been an example for all police department personnel and for the city as a whole. As we move forward, what is the plan? I think that we have turned the corner, and I am in the preliminary stages of moving the recruitment forward. I will be sitting down very soon with the City of Savannah's Human Resources Director, and I will be putting that into her hands to work with the Human Resources Director of Chatham County. I would also like to say that, or reiterate that, I strongly support Assistant Chief Tolbert in what she's done thus far with the assistant of Acting Chief Enoch. I don't have to micromanage because the trust is there, the integrity is there. They clearly understand rules and policies, and that's what matters to me. And they clearly understand the importance of taking care of staff. That's what they've done. That's what I expect them to continue to do. And I'm giving them the reins and the trust to do exactly that. And with that, if you all have any questions as it relates to operations itself, that's Chief Tolbert's area, and she will address that.
did you have something prepared? Something that you wanted to say, or are we open for questions?
Well, no, I would like to expound a little bit on what the city manager said. After having met with her initially to talk about, the moving forward of the organization, took very seriously her concerns. We realized going into this, doing the transition, that this was going to be a challenge. It wasn't going to be easy. In light of the fact that we had a number of employees that we needed to deal with. You never want to have to terminate employees, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary. And to this point, we've had to do that. We are not finished yet. I would say that there are still some areas that we've got to cover, and it may result in some additional employees having to leave the department. But we're not focused so much on that as much as we are on getting the agency where it needs to be, some stability within the organization. When we first went in, myself and the assistant chief, one of the main things we wanted to do was to actually meet with the officers and get feedback from the officers, because when this all happened, it didn't just affect the people that was directly involved, it affected the entire agency. And we wanted to make sure that their voices were heard as well. And so going out and meeting with them, they gave us that feedback. We spoke with them extensively, went to every precinct, to every unit actually. It took several weeks to do this, but we felt it was extremely important to do this so that they understood that we felt their pain as well. And after having done that, we've made a number of changes within the agency. As you saw recently, the Internal Affairs Unit went through transition. We transitioned out a few top commanders, and we intend to move forward in doing some other things within the agency, such as an audit, to try to find out exactly where the best resources need to be. And I just received that report, and I will be reviewing that report. And once I'm done reviewing that report, some additional changes within the agency for the betterment of the community will occur. We are doing what needs to be done to prepare the agency for whomever the city manager decides coming in as permanent chief. We want to make sure that that person do not have to deal with some of the issues that we are currently dealing with. So we want to wrap that up as soon as possible. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it's going to take us a minute. We still have some work to do, and we're going to do it in the best possible way. I would like for you all to completely understand that when officers are engaged in conduct unbecoming, the officers that they are working beside feel the impact of that as well, and they do not like it. They work very hard at what they do, placing their lives on the line every single day for this community. They engage in heroic acts every day, and we want to recognize those officers. It's very disheartening when officers have to work beside officers who do not perform in an upstanding manner, and they have to go out into the community and feel the brunt of that from citizens who tend to lump all officers in the same. I view them the same. And so we are turning the corner, as the city manager indicated, and getting this agency back on track the way that it should be.